Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
So,
oh, my bad. I was giving myself props at that point.
I was like, okay, I don't know if it's gonna be hand claps. I don't know if it's gonna be horn. I didn't know what it was. So when the pause came in, I was like, oh, okay, he don't have nothing in them.
No. I was ready. I was waiting too. Nah, man, what's going on, man? It's Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Your boy Scotty B. Nothing has been really going on. Just enjoying all the sports going on, enjoying all the Major League Baseball, basketball. A lot to talk about, man.
Yeah. I same here. There's a lot to talk about, but I did want to bring something up. We don't really talk about our personal stuff, right? I had something strange happen, like this morning. So, you know, my dad passed away a couple months ago, and my dad was in my dream today.
Oh wow!
It was like weird. I hadn't said anything. I was like, I'm gonna save it for the show, but I was like, my dad was in my dream, and that's never happened before. Like that's never. So I didn't know what it meant. There weren't any really words. There weren't words, at least no words that I can remember. But I didn't know if that meant something. You know what I'm saying? It was weird, man. I was just like,
You know that I was about to ask if anybody's listening if what that means, but it just might have been meant for you to speak his name today on the show and just shout him out and
that's true.
Shout out everything he's done for you and rest in peace.
Yeah. So if anybody knows what that means, let us know because I don't know. And it kind of spooked me out a little bit, but I mean. It is what it is.
So something I've been dying to ask you about. All right, so you saw the brawl with the A's and the Houston Astros, right?
Say that again.
You saw the Major League Baseball brawl with the the A's and the Houston Astros. All right, so it was said that what started the brawl was the I guess he's the hitting coach or one of the coaches said something about his mom. And that's what triggered him to charge the actual dugout or whatnot. So I've been wanting to ask you this.
And of course, they weren't socially distancing, but okay.
Yeah. When are you too old to take your mama jokes personally?
I don't know. Is there too old?
Like if somebody disrespected your mom like right now, would you fight? Like not in your presence. They just say your mama, or they had.
It gotta be more than just your mama. It gotta be, and I think it depends on who the person is too. You know what I'm saying? If we have some sort of like,
if you're walking down the street. And a guy just yells out, "Your mama's a hoe." Would you fight him?
No.
I don't know. I thought it was a little strange. I mean, I've gotten into fights over people saying stuff about my mom, but it's been a good 25 to 30 years.
Yeah, I mean that's different. That's when we were like kids. But it just depends, man. I think it depends on where everything stems. If they have a history, if they have some sort of history, then it's like, oh, that makes sense. But if it's not like a personal history, and nah, man, it is what it is. Let them get their rocks off, and then But nah, man, I can't.
Yo, what's the best? I won't put you on the spot. What's the best mama joke that you've heard?
I don't know, man. I mean, you heard the. I'll let you. I can't. I don't know if you can say it on air.
Yeah.
It all kind of the your mama's a hoe, but like in depth, like
you got to be real. It's got to be some substance.
With these two and such and such and such, and they was such, and like it's a joke, but it was like the truth. Then it's like, we got to square up, man. We got to have a little conversation.
I couldn't think of the best joke, but what I could, I remember the situation. A lot of people know me. Know I grew up most of my life in Germany on an army base, and I lived in army housing. So with army housing, like you got like dumpsters or whatnot, that everybody used, just like a apartment building and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it was this guy's mom, man. She was like famous for like dumpster diving. Like she would actually like go into the dumpster and like pull out stuff. So everybody knew it. And we was on the bus. And this guy was like, yo, that's why your mom be searching for y'all meals in the dumpster or something like that, something of that nature. And probably one of the best fights that I ever saw in my life happened off of that mama joke. So that's my little quick mama take or whatnot. But that's one that's stuck in my memory because it was funny because everybody knew, like, yo, this guy's mom really be in the trash can like that.
Yeah. Wait, why is she dumpster diving? What is that about?
See, I was too young to really. I don't know if she was looking for arts and crafts. I don't know if she was looking through old furniture and trying to refurbish it. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it was nothing to be playing outside and see his mom just in the dumpster.
So, and if you're young and your mom is going through dumpsters, you're gonna end up fighting. You don't have no choice. You're gonna end up fighting because, nah, man, come on, mom, you gotta find another profession or something, man.
Yeah, I don't know if, like I said, she used to like refurbish that stuff or save it. I don't remember what she was pulling out the dumpster per se, but you just see somebody's mom just all the way in the dumpster. And like I said, these would be at the end of each housing complex. So as you were making your way through, shout out to Marshall Heights, if anybody listening out there, you would see his mom in the dumpster, man.
And this is in Germany?
Yeah, this was in Germany, man.
Oh, God.
Yeah, man. He hit him up on the bus, too, man. It was like your mom in the trash can.
All right, so I guess we start with Dame, man.
All right, so where are you going to start with Dame? That's the question. I
guess we should start with the Clipper game.
And that's what I was wanting to know. Go ahead, proceed.
So about 4 or 5 nights ago, they played the Clippers, and he missed 2 free throws at the end of the game. And Pat Bev and what's the other dude name? Paul George, and I think Morris was in there.
Morris was in that, yeah, he's in that.
Getting on that action too. They were mocking Dame, talking about Dame time and all of this. And, Dame pretty much called them suckers. He said, I put them both out. All that. They were going back and forth. Whatever. I'm sure everybody's seen it. If not, you have Twitter. So, Dame played, was it the Thunder? The next game?
Okay, so he put up money against the 76ers.
So it's 76ers.
It was the 76ers?
Yes, he put up 51 against the 76ers.
Okay.
And then last night came back and put up 61 on the Mavericks.
Yeah.
And it brought me to think of when Dame gets mad, he goes in. Because maybe 5 years ago, he got snubbed off the All-Star team. and maybe it was 4 or 5 years ago. It doesn't really matter. He got snubbed off the All-Star team. And it just so happens a lot of those guards that got picked over him, like Steph, Harden, even the Eastern Conference guards, he went in and he put on a show. I think it was over like a 5-6 game stretch. He was averaging like 48 and was putting numbers on each and every one of those guards. And from that time, he was just doing what he had to do. And it was almost like this man is possessed. I don't know what's wrong with him. Well, we know what's wrong with him, but don't piss him off or he's going to make you look crazy.
He's almost got a little bit of Michael Jordan in him that it's certain guys you just don't want to talk to. They just need that little bit of motivation to get going. And he seems like one of those guys. I embrace the fact that he likes to be the villain a little bit. In the sense to where he gives you that impression that he's not trying to be everybody's friend. Like he legitimately wants to beat people. I'm sure that he's had his opportunities to team up with other stars, but he's just that throwback star to where he's like, nah, I got my own situation. Who cares if I play in the West? Who cares if LeBron and whoever else is in the West? I'm going at him, and I commend it. I respect it. It brings me to my next point. So in the West right now, we got Portland. You got the Suns who are playing phenomenal ball. The Spurs who have been playing pretty good. And then you got the Grizzlies who are probably all going to compete for that 8th spot. Who do you think is going to give the Lakers the most trouble?
Oh, it's the Trailblazers.
Trailblazers?
I think so. Man, go ahead.
No, I was going to agree, but go ahead. So
I think that they're the healthiest out of – well, here's the thing. I think the Grizzlies are going to be – I think by Saturday, by the time Saturday gets here and they have that playing game, I think it's going to be the Suns versus the Blazers. Now, out of those two, either one of those teams could win because Devin Booker – we talk about Dame, but Devin Booker is playing at a whole nother level. Not from Dame, but from where he's been playing. And he's an all-star. He did get voted to all-star game this year, right?
I don't think he initially got voted in. I think he might have been
a fill-in.
Yeah, fill-in or what.
Yeah. So, but Devin Booker is probably the most valuable player during the bubble time. And for these 8 games, because they are going to give out awards, you might have to give Devin Booker that MVP. But if the Suns win the 8th seed, the Lakers are going to sweep them. And unfortunately, that's what I think. But I think that if the Blazers get it, man, I still think they lose. But it's going 6, and it ain't going to be easy.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the layoff it allowed teams like the Suns, because if you think about it, like right before the season, DeAndre Ayton, he was just kind of getting back in the groove of things because he had a 25-game suspension. So you've got that team that's had an opportunity to gel. They're young. They've got a lot of young stars that they can grow with. And then you look at the Blazers with Whiteside, he wasn't totally healthy. Carmelo Anthony was just kind of getting back in the groove of things. And then Nurkic or
Nurkic?
Yeah, Nurkic. He was hurt for the most of the season, so he's healthy now. So you just look at I guess the only person on that team that's not healthy is CJ McCollum. He's got to get to 100%.
That's huge.
Huh?
That's huge. That's
huge, and they will need him versus the Lakers. As far as Dame Lillard, I think this is where the Lakers will miss Avery Bradley. I'm not saying that the Trailblazers will upset the Lakers, but I think if they would have had Rondo or they would have had Avery Bradley, they could have possibly slowed Dame down a little bit. I mean, Dame's going to get his money, but I would feel more comfortable as a Laker fan if Avery Bradley was defending them.
Yeah, but I mean, Dame is gonna do Dame. I think if you can kind of control what everybody else does, then you're all right. But Dame's gonna get his because if he can shoot from 40 and make it,
so he can make it. But I was watching him. I want to say that was the game against. It might have either been the Lakers or the Mavericks. I get them kind of confused because they're running. He was cold. I think that might have been the Clipper game. I'm sorry that he was playing.
Right.
And he took a lot of, I would call them ill-advised shots.
Okay.
And maybe I'm old school. I cringe when Steph Curry does it. I saw
hits it a lot.
Yeah, they hit it a lot, but I always find it hard to believe that that's the highest percentage shot that they can get. You know, I mean, when I watch a guard come down at 40 feet, just pull up, I'm like, dang, they couldn't got an extra pass. They could have got, worked the ball in a little bit, but he took it was a good 3 or 4 shots that I watched him miss. I'm like, I wonder what his coach really thinks about it. But yeah, he's on the tear right now.
Yeah, man. So are you in agreement with the Blazers being that sleeper team?
So when you say sleeper, I wouldn't have called them the sleeper. Okay. I think me and you were both in agreement before they came in the bubble. We knew that was a team that to watch out for. I would even think, and I mean, I'm not huge into conspiracies, but a lot of the NBA formatting for the bubble was tailored for like the Blazers, and having their opportunity to really compete. Because teams knew that the NBA knew if that team had an opportunity, they were going to make some noise in the West, and it's a good storyline. Unfortunately, the West is really, really deep up top. With Denver, Denver looks good. The emergence, even though I gave them the winner of the week, that might have been a couple weeks ago, but Michael Porter Jr. has been playing out of his mind. That was I always cringe when I see his name because my Knicks had the opportunity to get him and took Knox and didn't let him sit for that year. And I was just like, why didn't they just take Michael Porter? But he's playing out of his mind. The Clippers are an interesting story. I wish it was matched up to where Portland was able to go against the Clippers because it's interesting to see.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that would be a matchup. And then, of course, the Lakers, we already know that they're going to be there. You saw Russell Westbrook maybe out for the playoffs.
I hope not. I
hope not either.
Because if Russell Westbrook is out for the playoffs, then, the Rockets will get to the second round, but I think that's where it stops. I think that's where it stops.
I don't even know if they get to the second round without Russell.
Because they're currently what? At if they're the 3rd seed or 4th seed?
They're the 4th. And so I believe Dallas is well, you saw Dallas is Dallas is 7th.
Yeah.
Then you got
and Dallas can very well beat the Clippers.
Okay, so they have no answer for
thinking. Maybe it's wishful thinking, but I'm so sick of those Clippers, man.
I don't think Doncic. It's a lot of teams out there that don't have any answer for him. I mean, he's got 3 triple-doubles since he's been in the bubble. He's been playing fascinating. Just watching him, because that's the thing about Dallas, right? I've always watched his highlights, but Dallas hasn't really gotten a lot of airplay on TV. So just watching the way that he plays, I don't want to say he's the next coming of LeBron, but he is that perfect little blend between like Magic Johnson and like Larry Bird. Like he shoots like Bird. His decision making is like Magic. He's got the size of Magic, He's a phenomenal point guard.
He's definitely a future MVP. I think it's safe to say that.
So what I always think back to is the Hawks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Trae Young is a ball player in his own right.
Right.
Would you have done that? Would you have taken traded the pick and traded back and got Trae Young?
Why not? I mean, their careers are very similar. I mean, aside from this year with Dallas taking another step, I mean, Atlanta is really young, and you kind of, I don't know. Me probably would have done the trade if I was who? If I was Atlanta?
Yeah, because I think they owned that year. It might have been number 3rd pick.
It was 4.
It was 4. Yeah, and they swapped picks and they picked up.
I want to say they had 2 picks in the top 10 that year.
Right.
I'm making that trade, man. Trae Young is. He passes better than Luka.
Yeah, so you're looking at with Trae Young, right? You got really the next Steph Curry in the making, right?
Right.
Maybe a little bit better as a point guard. I don't want to say he's as good. Well, nobody's as good of a shooter as Steph Curry.
I mean, he's close though. At least for right now, he's close.
He can shoot. He can shoot. He can shoot. And then, or you got a cross between Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
Right.
That's a tough decision, man. I personally, I got to go with the cross between Magic and Larry.
So, and I think that's where hype wins. Hype wins in that situation. I mean, I think that it's a smart trade. It's a smart. I can't even be mad at the Clippers. I can't be mad at the Hawks or the Mavs for making that move. We'll see in a couple years.
You know what we're starting to witness? Just people going back to the big point guards. You see like Ben Simmons and you see like Luka.
Mm-hmm.
And what I like about Luka too is his versatility. He's able to actually slide over to that small forward, and you can bring another guard in there and space the floor with him. I mean, because he can shoot.
Right.
I don't know. That guy, like he's really impressed me watching him during the bubble. What did you think about Giannis getting thrown out yesterday?
This is the second time during the bubble I've seen Giannis lose his cool. Right now, I don't know if that is a pressure type thing, and he's feeling that pressure of what happened last year, or he just didn't want to play. The last game, it was like, let's just hurry up and get to the playoffs. I don't know, but he's acting uncharacteristic. And hey man, Mo Wagner, he went to Michigan, man. You can't be doing that to Mo. And it was unnecessary too. It was just like, what was the point? So
But like you said though, I mean, like if you look at the root cause of it, and even Giannis even admitted that it wasn't nothing against Mo. It was just all the Nicky Knack stuff started to add up. Mm-hmm. But when I thought about it, I thought about Shaq, right?
Right.
And the reason why I bring Shaq into this is think about like all the punishment that he had to endure, all the Nicky Knack fouls or whatnot. But no matter what you say, he always kept his composure. For the most part, I mean, he had little instances to where Shaq would check you. He would check you if you fell too far out of line. But for the most part, he kept it together. And I'm sure, like, Jordan, we watched him go through it. I'm sure Kobe has went through it, LeBron. So, like you said, he's got to be able to withstand that. Will he be able to do that this year? You're right. He's starting to unravel. And even that team is not as strong as they were pre-COVID, in my opinion, watching the team.
Don't get me started on. I didn't have them going to the finals anyway.
So that's where me and you disagree. I'm having a tough time getting behind the other teams in the East.
Really?
Okay, so the 76ers are done.
They're done. Yes.
Or rightfully so. So we
they started to hurt. Yeah.
Yeah, we can stick a fork in them. The Boston Celtics, I am not completely sold on them.
Okay, I mean they're playing some good ball though, but I get it.
The Miami Heat, I'm not completely sold on.
But why?
Being that I haven't seen what it looks like with all the pieces. I've seen, they've had Jimmy Butler sitting out, and they've had a lot of stars sitting out, and they've been competitive, and they've won some games, and I believe they barely lost to Boston when they played Boston. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if that's
going. They beat Boston.
They beat Boston. It was the Raptors.
They lost to the Raptors. Yeah.
Yeah, the Raptors. I don't know if that's going to be enough down the stretch.
All right.
The Raptors.
I'm looking for a new co-host. If anybody's looking. No, go ahead.
No, I feel you. We know where the Nets stand. They'll be out the first round. The Raptors, they are saying all the right things, but I don't necessarily know that that's going to equate to competition.
I mean, I think I can see the Raptors. I mean, because what are they? Are they the 2 or the 3? Huh? I can look right here. Because the Raptors are the 2 seed. You know, they're 5-1 in the bubble.
Yeah, they got the appearance of a Eastern Conference champion, but I don't know, man. I think if Milwaukee was to really play up to their potential, I think that they could beat the Raptors. I think Boston, like we said, it was just kind of there because they're there.
Mm-hmm. Hey, yo, but you want to hear something funny? I know we're talking about playoff teams, but how did the Wizards, because, everything is off of your winning percentage, how they start the bubble in 9th place, right? They was like 9th place right outside of the they're gonna end up in 10th place by the time it's over. How they end up behind the Hornets and the Hornets ain't played a game?
So look, I watched the Wizards, right? And it was a terrible game to watch, but I watched them. What the one good thing that I will say is that game experience that the younger players are able to get without having Bradley Beal, the Admiral Schofield, I can't think of his name, starts with an H, but guy out of Gonzaga, Raul, I can't even think of Hachimura. The minutes that those guys are getting are valuable. And I think that was the Wizards. I think the Wizards didn't believe that they were going to make the playoffs, but they were like, you know what? We got the invitation. We got to go. Let's make the best of it. Let's figure out what we have. We'll start the new season with John Wall healthy. We'll start with Bradley Beal. We've got a young core. We'll know what we need to address during the draft, and then we'll move from there.
Well, right now they in the 10th. They in the 10th spot, but they haven't won a game in the bubble. They're the only team that hasn't won a game. And I mean, it is what it is. I think once Bradley Beal said he wasn't playing, I think that team knew it was a wrap. Once they had to bring Grant to the bubble, they was like, we're toast.
Oh yeah, they was going home regardless with Bradley Beal or not. It wouldn't have mattered.
They would have won. They would have won some games though. I don't know how many.
Some. So they got pressure.
They would have at least won 2. They wouldn't be winless right now.
Nah, we can give them 2 games.
I mean, the Nets don't have anybody, and they've beaten the Bucks and the Clippers. Those games wasn't close.
Yeah,
But they weren't close initially. Then those teams went on runs, but they couldn't close. All right, so let's get to the winner of the week, and then we can talk.
I don't have a winner of the week this week. I really struggled this week.
I do.
Oh, you got
no. You're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
Welcome. Don't sit back like that. No.
Oh, hey, I'm just listening.
Don't. All right, so I'm gonna take Scott's place this week. So my winner of the week this week it's not even sports related, but it's everyone that's been bashing Kamala Harris, vice president. It's like they bring, and I'm not gonna make it positive. We ain't gonna be here long, but it's like my sister said, it's tough being a black woman, anywhere, and this is just it continues, because if this was a Hillary Clinton, they would have been like, oh yeah. If it was another white lady, it would have been, hey. But they bring up any politician that you could think of has done something that someone didn't like, whether it was some sort of policy, but it's them acknowledging that whatever policy that it was that they were behind, and they acknowledge that it was screwed up, and they work towards fixing it. Then it's like, all right, because people do change, it may not be. So I'm giving everyone that's been bashing, whether they're white, black, and a lot of black people who's been bashing Kamala Harris for being, which we already knew she was going to get selected as the running mate as Joe Biden. You are the winner of the week, and go vote. So, what are your thoughts?
No, I agree with you. How I'm kind of watching this play out and scary is this gives people an excuse to go the other way. And it shouldn't.
Right.
But I think people are going to use this. It was like sort of when Trump was running last time. It was like, oh yeah, I can't vote for Hillary Clinton. And it's like, what? How much sense does that make? No, but I'm serious. That's the excuse, and that's the rationale that a lot of people will use. So it's going to be like you said, man. We just got to do our part. We got to vote.
And again, you use your voting power, man. And if and even if you don't vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, vote. Vote. Everybody, especially minorities, you have to vote, man, because it's. And I saw the commercial, the NFL commercial, the 60%. It was only 60% of people, exercised their right to vote the last election. So, it should be in the 90 percentile. Got to figure it out. So, I had enough of that. That quick political, whatever. Football, NFL. Are you satisfied with, or are you coming around with some of the NFL's measures?
No, and I was more alarmed after last night.
What happened last night?
Last night was the premiere of Hard Knocks.
I didn't watch it.
It was probably one of the worst episodes I've ever seen. But it was what it was.
Uh-huh.
Man, I will say this. The teams, at least the Rams and the Chargers, are doing their part and trying to make sure that they're doing everything they can to protect the players. But watching it just seemed like it may not happen. It was discouraging. Watching.
So what happened? What happened?
Well, just every like you said, like with basketball, it's a little bit easier to control it.
Mm-hmm.
When you're talking about 53-man rosters and, trying to social distance and not really having the bubble, and then trying to have a makeshift bubble and trying to social distance at practice and trying to social distance at meetings. And like I said, they've given it a really good effort. They've really tried. I don't see it. I really don't see it. I think. Go ahead.
Nah, I think that that we are going to have a season, and I think that there more than likely going to be some sort of hiccups, but I think with the daily testing that they've implemented and both sides have agreed to, that helps. And like you said, some of the others like the Cowboys, they've setting up a bubble type atmosphere, and I know the Saints. I don't know what the Chargers or the Rams are doing, but I think a lot of teams are gonna go to like try to set up their own personal bubble during this during camp, and I mean maybe it's just false hope, but I think an NFL season is gonna happen.
Camp looks terrible. That was just
they haven't done anything yet.
Exactly, and that was just 2 teams, but it just ain't looking good, man. I mean, and it's good to keep an optimistic view on this. And I don't know, I just would challenge anybody to try to make it through that whole Hard Knocks episode. It's bad, man, and it's not that it's a lack of effort. It's not a lack of effort. I think the team and I think the players, I think everybody is really doing their best. Mm-hmm. But I think it's just things that they can't overcome. And I really think it's just really the nature of football that's making it more like difficult. Just the contact and just how everybody's got to be in close proximity. How like, you got to hit, like you got to do like a whole bunch of drills. Just really I think in basketball, you can get away with more or less practicing individually. Like you don't necessarily need to have everybody at practice at all times. Mm-hmm. I think football is more about timing and it's more about reps. It is more about repetition and it's more about, just getting that down. I think in basketball, for the most part, yes, it's about chemistry, but I think why people gravitate to football more is it is a lot more of a team sport. Mm-hmm. And not being able to bring all that together the way that you normally are, it becomes a hindrance. And you could just really see like the frustration on the players. Now, one thing that I will say for the chemistry, and Anthony Lynn has said this about his team, is that with all the meetings, it has brought them together a little bit more to where they've got to know each other a lot more because they weren't able to necessarily per se practice, but they were still spending time together. So they got to build chemistry in that way. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. But I will give kudos to the Rams and the Chargers for really giving it an honest try.
So it was only the first week, right? Or maybe they were covering a week and a half or so, or 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, you're right. It's first week.
So I mean, let's see how. Because I believe next week is when they get to put on pads. So that's probably 2 episodes away. So
when does so let me ask you, because I know when does the actual football season start?
It starts on, I believe, September 7th or 10th. I'm sorry, September 10th.
All right.
September 7th is Labor Day.
Okay.
So September 10th, which is the Thursday night game.
So we're a month away. Mm-hmm.
Let's go, Mr. Debbie Downer. Go ahead. I'm gonna stay positive. And because of your review of Hard Knocks, I ain't gonna watch.
Yeah.
I'll wait till the whole season's over and I'll binge it then. But I ain't gonna watch.
Well,
nah.
Well, okay, so it could be this too, right? The premise of Hard Knocks is you find those rookies, you
Right.
find those undrafted players, and you follow their storyline and you follow them through camp.
Right.
So it's really difficult to like get behind like a show that their whole premise is basically on the field, production, getting cuts, seeing how like a team is formed when you can't really truly play the game. So what I saw is that you can't circumvent that process in football. I think it's a little bit easier in other sports to circumvent that process, but in football, it's that way because it is that way. And I know that we have to adjust and we're going to have to make changes and change our mindset. But it's really tough for me to believe like, all right, these guys in 2 weeks, they're going to start hitting for the first time. They've had a longer than long layoff, and then they're going to hit for 2 weeks and try to get everything in, and we get a good end product. You see where I'm going?
Well, I say this. They ain't really been hitting a lot in practice, or in camp in like the last 5-6 years. A lot of those rules have changed anyway. So they was really only hitting minimally, it wasn't a lot. And so that a lot of their contact was coming during the games.
Well, again, so there's two sides of it, right? Mm-hmm. And this is where I do agree with you. With college football, basically, I don't see them playing. We saw the Big Ten has canceled. I believe the ACC stepped out, right? They canceled, or they haven't announced it.
No, we're playing. ACC and SEC are still on. Big 12 for right now is still on. Yesterday, the two were Big Ten and Pac-12. And I have a theory about that also.
Right. So I think with college football kind of like in limbo, like some people playing, some people not, it puts the pressure on the NFL to play. So, and then I feel like I said, they've tried to do everything. A lot of money has went into that, and which they showed. They didn't really say anything, but they pretty much had to, I don't want to say redo the whole facility, but they've had to make the facility more social distancing friendly. You know what I mean? With, that's involved a lot of like construction in the weight room. That's involved a lot of construction in the meeting rooms, just the practice facility and stuff. So they made that initial investment. They're going to want to recoup on that investment. So I think they're going to do everything they can to have a season. We'll see.
Hey, listen, man. If anybody can pull it off, it's the NFL. There's going to be a season, man. Listen, trust me. I told you that they were going to get the Confederate thing off the Mississippi flag. What else? I said that look, it doesn't even matter. There's gonna be a season. There's gonna be. You gotta trust me on this one.
No. And I do trust you, and I do think it could be a season. Again, my major concern is watching basketball and baseball. Nothing has changed. You know what I mean? There's nobody in the stands, but for the most part, it's baseball and it's basketball. Football, I can see some of the players getting frustrated to think, what are we really doing? Like are we really, what is this? You know what I mean? And that's just my opinion from watching it, seeing the players' frustration, like, are we really doing this right now? But that's just me.
All right, so I heard I saw a funny article. The Washington football team has stated that they won't have fans in the stands.
Ooh. Surprise, surprise.
When have they had fans in the stands? So, I mean,
wow.
Yeah. But I have also I saw something. I believe it might have been Jerry Jones, but.
Oh man, what'd you think about that? I was gonna bring that up, and I got sidetracked. What do you think about Jerry Jones?
I want to show the people something. I'm gonna hang this up. What I'm gonna hang. Maybe put it right here. So I don't know, but what did I think about Jerry Jones? I think he was being as safe as possible. He didn't really come up with. He didn't really give a take on. So to me, what it sounded like is he was trying to get the fans and the people who may have an issue with the players kneeling and the coaches kneeling. He was trying to get them to understand why. I think that's what he was trying to do. That's what it sounded like, because he definitely played both sides of the fence. He was, and I guess it was a start with Jerry Jones. I think you kind of got what you expected you was going to get from Jerry Jones, especially not hearing from him for 3-4 months.
Did it help him or hurt him?
I don't think it did either. At the moment, he didn't really. So I think what a lot of people wanted to hear was him be really, really different, or have a different stance on his stance from, I think it was 2018, when he said the players will stand toe on the line, blah blah blah. I think a lot of people wanted to hear that. Hear his stance away from that, and it was he was being safe. So I don't think it hurt or helped him. I don't think it did anything. I just think it was a start. But could he have done more and said more? Probably. He could have said, how he felt about them kneeling. He didn't really say how he felt about it. He said he understood, but he didn't really say how he felt about them kneeling or protesting.
And that's where I lost my respect for him even more. I understood.
Jerry Jones.
I understood why he did what he did, but for somebody to be so vocal and be opinionated and have something to say on everything, to take 3 months to say what he said, which was one of the weakest.
It was safe.
It was like one of the weakest speeches I've ever heard him give. And to put that out, it just, honestly, and I know I want to start up some stuff. I think black people should protest the Cowboys.
So here's why I don't think that's fair.
And we'll see if he changes his tune. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like you said, would that really be how he really feels, or is that just because he's losing money?
I think
it's the same with the stuff in DC. Here's my take on Jerry Jones. He's gonna have to like camp is in now. He's gonna be in front of a lot of football's in. It's football time, right? You don't get no preseason games, so that means there's more press conferences, there's more mics in your face, there's more Zoom meetings or whatever, and it's because it's gonna come up again, and he's gonna need to say. I mean, I'm not gonna tell him what to say, but he's gonna need to address his feelings on the players protesting, because he didn't really address that. So, I
don't think he is going to address it. I think he kind of met everybody in the middle. He put something out. He played it safe. And yeah, and in his mind, it's not going to be to his advantage to put anything else out. Why would he do it? At this point, he's just probably thinking like, what, I've done my due diligence. I've put out what I need to put out, and I'm just done with it, and I can put this to bed, and hopefully we can just focus on football.
Yeah. All right. So, pods. That's what I was gonna tell you. Pods. That's the word that I've seen come up about having fans in the stands for football games, and it's little. So ultimately, they're gonna look like Tampa Bay Rays games or Dolphins games when, like, if it's the Dolphins and the Bengals, and in Miami you see a bunch of like the teal blue seats, and then you have patches of fans. So I think that's what they're gonna do, and I think that's a decent idea. I think that's a decent idea. I think baseball should think about that, and no, baseball don't need to think about that. Baseball needs to worry about just finishing their season, which they're still doing a good job, but they should probably think about getting those cardboard cutouts out because they look terrible. Those cardboard I'd rather see the seats than those terrible looking cardboard cutouts.
I think for football, I think they should just focus on playing first. And then once they get figure out all that, I mean, they really have an uphill battle against them. Then they can start talking about.
Scott is such a Debbie Downer, man.
They can start talking about getting fans in the stands. They got to figure all that out first. Once they figure that all out, they get a couple games under their notch. All right, we can go. We can start thinking about some fans. But right now, man, I'm trying to figure out how they're going to play.
They're going to play, man. So you want to make a bet?
No, I think they're gonna, oh no. I think they're gonna play. I mean, it's too much money. It's too much money for them not to play. I'm just saying, like, watching that training camp episode, it was depressing, and that's it. It came to the you know what that episode did for me?
What?
It brought to the realization how much detail and coordination and things go into what they do, and how much how many behind the scene things that we all like take for granted watching sports and think like, oh, okay, well, yeah, they're in the bubble, but all the stuff behind the scenes that is put into making that happen. And for them to get all those teams kind of on board to figuring out, like, same thing with the NBA. I don't know if you heard, they're thinking about having 4 bubble locations. They're talking about having one in New York, returning to like Disney World. And I think it might have been, no, it wasn't Arizona. It was something else pretty big that they were thinking about. They were thinking about New York because they've got 2 stadiums. I'm trying to think of the other locations that they were talking. Huh?
It might have been Cali or Vegas. I didn't see it, but I mean, I guess you should have some sort of contingency plan, but I don't know. I don't know how good a bubble will work for a whole season, or bubbles will work for a whole season.
Right, but think about this, and we talked about this last episode. Like, that's supposed to kick off like December 1st. You know what I mean? That's when the next upcoming basketball season is. So that's pretty close.
I guess, man. I mean, look, man, I'll tell you this.
But think about the logistics they're going to have. Like you said, and you brought up a real good point. The bubble was fine for this little makeshift season.
Right.
Season?
Yeah. And they talking about playing all 82 games. That's not going to happen. So, it's no way. 82 games now. They need to get that out of their mind right now, because you're going to have a ton of guys hurt. If you're trying to squeeze 82 games in 4 months, 4 or 5 months, it's dumb.
So I agree with you. And I would double down on what I'm saying about the NFL, because if I believe the NFL was that hard, the NBA to have 4 different bubble locations and pull that off, that's an uphill battle, bro.
So are we gonna make this bet or what, man?
I'm not betting on the NFL season. I think they're going to play. No, I think they're going to play.
No. Are they going to finish? I'm talking about finish.
Yeah, they'll finish. They'll finish.
Man, Scott, you. Hey, so
it's too much. It's too much money. They'll call me and you before they quit. They'd be like, yo, Scott, you look like you out of shape. Maybe we could put you a tackle. I don't know. Maybe we could put you in huh?
Not me. So look, I ain't check on you all week, man. I mean, it's almost time to get out of here. What's up with them followers, man? How many pictures did you post on Instagram this week, man?
Man, I at least posted.
And don't lie, 'cause I got my phone right here.
I at least posted 10 pictures on Facebook.
On Facebook? I ain't talking about Facebook. I'm talking about Instagram. We said Instagram.
All right, so I posted.
And Facebook was by default because you was in a challenge that don't count. Yo, this man said, so he can't hold it. So he came in here last week and said, yo, I'm gonna at least post like 10 pictures, knowing he was in some sort of challenge where he got to post his favorite athlete for 10 days. No, that don't count. And no.
Yeah, I had my wife's birthday in there, so that was the post.
Gosh. All right. So now we're gonna bet, man. Now we're gonna bet.
So look, you'd be very disappointed. I at the same friend level on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh,
I didn't get one friend at all. Yo,
hey, people, follow Scott, please.
Nobody wants to follow me. I tried. I tried to get him. I tried to get a friend.
This is ridiculous, Scott. Scott's
on both platforms. I didn't even get a junk email friend. You know what I mean? The ones.
Oh my! You sir are pitiful. Oh my!
Oh man!
So we got IG. What's your IG, man?
Scott Q Smith.
At least you know that.
Yeah, I know it now.
Yeah, you're welcome. Do you even have a Twitter?
I do not.
Jesus Christ!
I've never been on Twitter. No. So hear me out on this. And I know you guys know people. I think you should pass like a test before you could talk on Twitter or Facebook.
Yo, chill out, man.
No, it's real, man. So look, I've been on Facebook. I've been more active on Facebook. Like I haven't been liking no pictures or anything. I just been like reading. Yo, I almost came in here with less friends. I was like, yeah, I gotta unblock block some of these people. Like, I started realizing like some of the people I know are annoying, and you see it because they dominate your feed. So look, if you're out there and we're friends, yeah, I'm talking to you. No, I'm just fine, but.
See, no fan.
You don't have that problem to where like you just see like the dumbest stuff.
This is what you can do. You can mute them. You know, yeah, you can mute them, or you just scroll past them. Just scroll past them. You don't have to look at every person you follow. You don't have to look at their post or their.
I'm about to be a mutant ass. I'm about to do.
Lord help this guy. I mean, so Follow him, please. It's right there.
All right, so next
I'm not even gonna post mine. So it is what it is. You can follow the show at
So next week I should have one friend, and if not, I'll get somebody at the gas station or somebody. I'll get somebody.
Nah, you said you probably got some followers as we speak, man. Some people
very seriously doubt that.
Scott, you've been a Debbie Downer all day.
You know what? You're right.
It's been raining. Maybe it's raining outside, so maybe it's the rain. You said this NFL, they shouldn't. You was depressed by Hard Knocks. That you don't think the NFL is going to have a season, even though you think they're going to have a season. What else you said? You said that oh, my bad. The baseball game was on, and somebody almost got hit in the head. And it's not the Astros. But yeah, man, cheer up, man. It's gonna be all right.
You know what? You're right. And I hope my mood isn't reflected on here because I'm actually in a good mood. I've had a good week. No, I really have. I've had a really good week. Really good week. So I'm just like, no, maybe I should be. You know what? Football is gonna play.
There we go. Hold on. I got you right now. Hold on. Say that again.
Football is going to play. Football is going to play.
Let's get a round of applause for this guy right here.
Yeah. Football is going to play. Yep.
All right. So real quick. So I had a theory on college football, right? So big, and I know we just talked about it, but I didn't get a chance to say what I had to say. So Big Ten, they postponed it till spring. Pac-12 the same. Big 12 said that whatever. SEC and ACC like we're gonna play. So my thing with the SEC and ACC, I think they felt we was gonna have the two teams in the championship game anyway, so we might as well play and then play our own little playoffs with them, our own little because it was gonna be Clemson and Alabama or LSU anyway. I didn't think Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State, USC. I didn't think any of those teams was gonna make it to the playoffs. Well, maybe Ohio State, but they wasn't gonna beat Clemson, Alabama, or LSU anyway. So
yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
And it's a couple of those teams thinking about playing, even though the conference isn't like Ohio State said something about it. Nebraska was the first ones to say something about it, but then they backtracked and said we don't.
Yeah, Desmond Howard was one that coaching that too.
Who? Scott Frost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because it's crazy that he still got a job anyway. But whatever. I mean, he whatever. But yeah, man. Hey, people, follow Scott right here.
We'll see. Next week, I'll have 5 new followers, and that's a win.
That's a start.
That's a start.
There you go. Man, this is about to be the topic of discussion for the next month. Trying to get Scott to 300 friends. Jeez. Tasha, you got some work. You got your work cut out for you. So yeah, man. But all right, man. Next week we'll know who's in the playoffs. We'll have a playoff pick. I think the playoffs start on was it the 17th?
Yeah, something like that.
So
yeah, because Thursday I guess is the last day so that'll be tomorrow.
And the play-in game starts on Saturday and Sunday. So
yep.
I don't know if Memphis is gonna make it, man, but I like what I see with Phoenix. And even if Phoenix doesn't make it, they have something to look forward to when the next season starts. I mean, they've been playing some good basketball. So
okay,
yeah, man. So all right, man. I guess we out of here. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
It's boy Scotty B.
That has 200 followers. Come on, hey, follow Scott, man. Follow Scott. Let's go. We out of here.
All right.
Anthony Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com.